everybody, welcome to the Midweek Check-in. Hey you guys, this week in our Lectio Divina journal, we come across a section of scripture in Acts where it's about Peter who heals a paralytic. Well, it's really awesome, and I noticed that in that situation that the paralytic became a very powerful witness to the power of Jesus. And I thought about how when he walked away and the people who saw him witnessed his healing, they actually turned toward Jesus as well. It says that right at the end of 9:35. It's a really powerful thing. Well, guess what? That actually is something that we have the power to do as well. When we tell our stories, when we talk about the things that Jesus does in our lives, how he moves in our lives, whether that's physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, the ways he moves in us, when we tell those stories, that is powerful. We become witness to his power. And also furthermore, when we allow people to see the changes that have happened in us, the transformation that he's done, the things that he's done in our lives that actually make us act totally different and be totally different. These are things that happen on the inside of us, and we allowed those things to come outside of us, and we show them to people around us. That in and of itself is also a very powerful witness. So I thought it was really awesome. Here's this man who was delivered from he was a paralytic. He couldn't walk. Peter comes, he heals this man, and now he can walk, which is really powerful and awesome. That's never happened to me. Has that ever happened to you? I don't think so. Probably not. I would know about it. But it doesn't matter. The things that happen inside of our lives, the ways that he moves in our lives, the way he heals us, those witness situations, those places where we allow that to come out of us, those become really powerful too. We are witnesses to his power, and those around us get to witness his power and see how that's working and moving in our lives. That's how people turn toward the Lord. It's one of the most powerful ways that we are impacted by the way the Lord moves in our lives, and the same with the people who are all around us. Hey you guys, I also wanted to talk a little bit today about spiritual disciplines. This is something that you hear us talk about a lot, probably in services on Sundays. We use it when we talk about giving. Well, listen, spiritual disciplines are important. Reading Lectio Divina, reading scripture every single day, carving space to do that. It is a spiritual discipline. The reading of scripture is a spiritual discipline. So is prayer. So is fasting. There's a handful of different spiritual disciplines, and actually we as a staff have recorded 8 different videos to teach a little bit about what they are, why we would do them, and maybe a little bit about how we could do them. Ultimately, when we carve space in our lives and set it aside, we prioritize this time, it creates space for us to deepen our relationship with Jesus. It creates space for him to do the formative and the transformative work inside of us. We are changed because of that time that we spend before him as we press into those disciplines. But again, there are things that we have to actually make time for. We can't just find time for them. But if you're interested in learning a little bit more about what spiritual disciplines are, check out our resource with the 8 different videos that each of us did here on staff, or a few of us did here on staff, and learn a little bit more about what they might be. You don't have to take on all 8 at one time either. Maybe you just pick one and you decide that you are pressing into that specific one. And if you're doing Lectio Divina, you're already doing one. If you are making and carving time to do Lectio Divina every single day, that is a spiritual discipline. So there you go. That's number 1. What's your next one? Or maybe you want to take a step in this direction and find a good spiritual discipline that you want to begin pressing into. Take baby steps. It's no big deal. Start slow, but make sure you start. It's so important to create this space so that the Lord can do the work he wants to do in us. And out of that work, as we talked about in the beginning of this message right here, out of that work, we are a witness to his power in our lives. And that is our prayer for you guys this week. You would continue in your Lectio Divina journals if that's what you're doing. And if not, you would press into a spiritual discipline or maybe a couple, and that you would be willing to tell about what Jesus has done inside of your lives, how he's changed your life, and to show it too. To be willing to just show it, to put it out there. It's very powerful, and it's awesome stuff. And we encourage you to do all of those things, you guys. We're praying with you. We're doing them too. It's not easy, this journey that we're on, but it's so worth it. All right, you guys, until next week, we love you. See ya.